All right, time to dive into something pretty interesting, I think you'll agree. We're tackling ProDentim today. This stuff is everywhere I look online. You know those ads? They promise to like totally change your oral health with this probiotic supplement. And you know me, I'm all about a good health trend. But I'm also like the most skeptical person when it comes to this stuff. So let's dig in. What do you think? Is ProDentim legit, or are we about to expose some marketing hype?
I think legit might be pushing it, but there's definitely something to this whole oral microbiome thing that ProDentim is tapping into. Most people don't realize how important the balance of bacteria is in our mouths. It's not just about having a pretty smile, it's about your overall health too.
Yeah. The marketing materials call it like this hidden world inside us, impacting way more than just our teeth. In fact, they almost make it sound like our modern obsession with oral hygiene could be hurting us. Did you see that part about how teeth and fossils last for centuries, just out in the open air?
Yeah.
But our teeth, even with all of the brushing and flossing and mouthwash, they don't even come close. They even called out chocolate. Can you believe that?
It is pretty wild when you think about it, right? But honestly, there's some truth to that. Our mouths are home to this delicate ecosystem of bacteria, and like any ecosystem, it needs balance. Prodentim's argument is that a lot of conventional oral care products, while they fight bad breath and stuff, they also obliterate the good bacteria along with the bad.
So I'm like nuking my mouth with minty freshness and ending up with a bacterial wasteland.
Well, maybe not a wasteland exactly, but definitely not the thriving ecosystem we want.
And that's where Prodentum claims to step in.
Exactly. They want to repopulate your mouth with the good guys, the beneficial bacteria. They've got this probiotic powerhouse, as they call it, with, are you ready for this? 3.5 billion probiotic strains in every single serving.
3.5 billion. That's like a microscopic rave happening on my tongue.
Yeah.
But okay, let's break it down. They highlight three specific strains in their materials. They're like the headliners for this probiotic party. Lactobacillus Paracasei, B.lactis BL-04, and Lactobacillus reuteri. Each one supposedly comes with its own set of benefits, not just for your teeth and gums, but for things like your breath, sinuses, even your immune system. So are we talking about probiotic superheroes here, or just clever marketing? All right, so we've got this massive probiotic party happening in our mouths, but I want to know more about the guest list. What's the deal with these specific strains? Are they really as impressive as Prodentim claims?
Well, they definitely pick some interesting ones. Let's start with Lactobacillus paracasei. Prodentim links that one to healthier gums and clearer sinuses, and there's actually research to back that up.
Really? Tell me more.
So, Lactobacillus paracasei has been shown to inhibit the growth of certain bacteria, the kind that love to mess with our gums and cause all sorts of problems.
So it's like a tiny little bodyguard for our gums.
Exactly. And it works in a couple of ways. First, it competes with the bad bacteria for resources. So the troublemakers can't thrive if Lactobacillus paracasei is hogging all the good stuff. Plus, some studies suggest it might even release substances that create a hostile environment for those harmful bacteria.
Wow, so it's like a full-on turf war happening in there. Next up, we've got B.lactis BL-04 to men. That one's supposed to be good for the respiratory system and immunity, right?
Yeah, that one's particularly interesting because it connects to this idea of the gut-lung axis. It's this whole concept that the bacteria in our gut, and maybe even our mouth, can actually influence our respiratory health.
Wait, so a healthier mouth could actually lead to fewer colds? That's wild.
It is pretty amazing, right? And there's a growing body of research suggesting that B.lactis BL-04 could play a role in reducing those respiratory infections, especially in kids.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. All right, last but not least, what about Lactobacillus reuteri? What's its claim to fame?
Well, Lactobacillus reuteri is a bit of an overachiever. It's been studied for its potential to reduce gum inflammation, and it can also inhibit the growth of Streptococcus mutans, which, as you might know, is a major culprit behind tooth decay.
So it's like the MVP of the probiotic world.
You could say that. It's definitely a promising strain.
It all sounds pretty amazing. But I have to ask, is it really as simple as popping a Prodentim pill and letting these probiotic superheroes work their magic?
Well, I wouldn't say it's magic. And it's important to remember that a lot of the research on these specific strains is still in its early stages. We need more long-term studies to really understand the full impact of these probiotics and how they interact within the complex ecosystem of our mouths.
Right, of course, it's not a quick fix.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a fascinating area of research. So Prodentim is giving us these probiotics, but they don't stop there, do they? They also add inulin, which I'm pretty sure is a prebiotic. What's the role of that in all of this?
You're right. Inulin is a prebiotic, and it's basically food for the probiotics. Ah, so it's like they're providing the probiotics with a packed lunch to keep them going. Smart. Okay, so we've got the probiotics, we've got their lunch. But ProDentim doesn't stop there. They also have this proprietary blend of other natural ingredients, which they claim adds another layer of benefits. Let's talk about that now. So this proprietary blend, it's like their secret weapon, right?
Yeah.
They've got malic acid in there, which they say helps whiten teeth. And I know peppermint's supposed to be good for more than just fresh breath, but do these ingredients actually live up to the hype?
Well, it's all about managing expectations.
Yeah.
Let's take malic acid. It's true you often find it in teeth whitening products. There's actually some research suggesting it can help break down surface stains on teeth.
Oh, so it's like a gentle exfoliant for your enamel.
Okay, that makes sense. People are definitely looking for gentler alternatives to those harsh chemical whiteners.
Absolutely. And that's where this trend towards natural ingredients comes in. But it's important to note that the amount of malic acid in ProDentim is probably much lower than what you'd find in a dedicated whitening product.
So it's more about enhancing your natural whiteness over time, not a quick fix.
Right.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, what about the peppermint? What's its role besides freshening breath?
Well, peppermint's been used for its potential health benefits for centuries, and it actually does have antimicrobial properties.
So it could actually be helping to fight those bad bacteria we talked about.
Exactly. It's like a minty fresh reinforcement for the probiotics.
I like it. All right, so we've got the probiotic all-stars, their prebiotic fuel, and this blend of natural ingredients. What's the bottom line for our listeners? Should they be rushing out to buy ProDentim?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that ProDentim is tapping into a real shift in how we think about oral health. People are starting to realize that it's not just about brushing and flossing anymore. It's about the entire ecosystem in our mouths.
And that's what the research is showing us, right?
Exactly. This whole oral microbiome thing is a huge area of ongoing research, and ProDentim has definitely picked some ingredients with promising science behind them. But like with any health trend, it's important to be realistic about the claims and to remember that everyone's mouth is different.
That's a good point. So maybe not a magic bullet, but definitely an interesting step in the right direction.
Okay.
Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dives on ProDentim. We've covered a lot of ground today. From microscopic bacteria to marketing strategies, it's been a wild ride.
It has.
As always, we want to empower you, our listeners, to make informed decisions about your health. So do your research, talk to your dentist, and remember that knowledge is power. That's it for today's deep dive. We'll see you next time.